So I'd like to introduce you to Delilah. This is my favorite lettering style because it is very clean, simple, very modern, and it's perfect for learning how to do hand lettering. I have created this handout to actually obviously go along with the course so you can print it out. And what's great is that each letter for the first half of the alphabet has the guidelines that are included in your basic strokes. So it tells you which step you're going to go to at which point. So number 1, you start from this point and go up. Number 2, you start from this point and go down. Number 3, you go up. And then number 4, you go across. Now, I will mention that I only did that for half of the alphabet. And that is because I feel as though by that point, it's so natural that you don't necessarily need me to tell you in what order to do it. And I will also mention that I have created 2 other alphabets for you in 2 different lettering styles that do not include that. So those I will show you once I'm done with this. But for right now, let's get started on Delilah. So I hope that you have your printouts ready and let's get started. So this is going to be fun. Essentially, this is a very playful lettering style. It's very modern, so some of the things kind of are not as conventional. So with the A, you're going to start with a thin stroke up, transition to a thick stroke, and then transition back to a thin, and then cross it across. And so just try to practice your A's. And you'll see this is very much mimicking that compound curve. So then we get into the lowercase a. This is kind of where I mentioned that it's a bit more modern in that it goes below the baseline. So kind of more formal, standard lettering would have it stay all at the baseline, but we like to have a little bit of fun with it. So you do your oval. This is where you're doing your oval. And then you're bringing down a downstroke into an upstroke. So again, you just have to remember to always be aware of the weight and the transition between thick and thin. And always, always be aware of your posture. Make sure that you're sitting up straight, that you have room for your arms to move. The B is a little bit more complicated, but it's a lot of fun. So you start with a thin stroke, turning it into a thick stroke, back to thin when you go up, thick, and then thick again. So let's go along with it. You'll see that I'm going very slow, and that is exactly how I would like you to do it at home. Always go slow. Okay, so you just keep practicing it until you feel comfortable. Next, we have the lowercase b, which is starting with that ascending stem loop and then kind of an oval at the end. So what we have here is we start at the midline, bring it up with a thin stroke and down with a thick. And here you go back to a thin, transition to a thick, and then with this tail you kind of bring it through as a thin stroke. There you go. And for the C, it's a very, very simple C, not too many flourishes on this one. And it's essentially like the oval, only you're not connecting it. And sometimes I find that when I'm doing my transition, you'll have kind of like this gap and I'll go through and just kind of fill it in with my pen, because sometimes it just doesn't catch it. So like that. And then with the lowercase c, it's the same thing, but just in a smaller version. And then with the D, it's kind of similar to the B without the double kind of loop here. So you start it off the same way you do with the B, and then just kind of continue one large loop. Okay, and then for the lowercase d, it's similar with the A in that it goes below the baseline. And then here you're starting off with the ascending stem loop. So here you're starting off here at the midpoint, bringing it down. You could also start here and then jump over and bring this down. So you'll see when I do this, it's an oval. Then I bring my descending stem loop, and it kind of like covers that thin part of the oval. So you have your oval, and then your descending stem loop, or ascending stem loop, sorry. And when you combine the two, this overlaps with this, so you get rid of that thin stroke. And there you have it.